August 6, 2024. It's 8:08 a.m. This is a screen recording for review purposes so that you can witness the demonic with regard to the maintenance of a fake sun, even in Las Vegas, Nevada at the time that it is, because I entered the state of Nevada and I'm looking at, in this video, you can see Mandalay Bay. I'm literally driving around the building of Mandalay Bay where the entity is keeping a fake sun in alignment through the windows and the windshield of my vehicle, aiming the fake sun in a direction that it's low enough. Remember, the sun, with regard to how tall Mandalay Bay, it's not competing with the sun, okay? The sun is something that is above us in the sky, not beside us and beside all of the buildings that we're in and hovering right above the roof of the buildings that we are inside of. That's the light source, and that's clearly not the sun even as you pay attention to it and observe it. This is the same light source that demons who are stalking in planes and helicopters, they're flying right underneath it and around it and even through it, as I've captured many times, and they're not blowing up in flames, such as would be the case if that gaseous ball of fire were the actual sun that NASA has defined to us, that NASA has told us about, that we learned about, basically rudimentary principles regarding the so-called natural environment in 5th grade. Okay, the entity is under a light source that is in the same specific environment. Yesterday evening, I arrived to Las Vegas after 5 p.m. The entity is aiming its fake sun on the building of Mandalay Bay, which is the malicious guise under which impossible light activity occurred because the sun was so low and it was hitting the gold building of Mandalay Bay, and then gold covered the streets. And you could see the light source, which I captured in images. You can see the light source reflecting off of Mandalay Bay. This was after 5 p.m. I'm looking at Mandalay Bay this morning when I'm capturing this video, and the fake sun is adjacent to that same building. So the entity is suggesting, again, 10 plus hours from now, the sun is in the same position, same city, aiming in a direction where it is low enough and close enough to be seen reflecting through the building of Mandalay Bay and creating light activity as well. This is how you are understanding all of the evidence. In addition, on its face, it's speaking to the stalking, as you see, stalking in helicopter, as you see, stalking with the people of the state who exhibit demon possession while they are crossing path and engineer lights ricocheting on the ground and on the roofs of the buildings, just like you see at every other venue where there's no sunrise. Outside of my living room window of Alvarado Gardens at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6, facing the hillside. So that's also, not only is that not the sun that I'm capturing at the same time in Las Vegas, Nevada, over in alignment with my person in another state, and it's also in alignment with my person through the living room window of Alvarado Apartments, my apartment specifically. So that's also not sunlight, as I spoke to, as I demonstrated, as the evidence already suggests that that's directed light. And this is breaking apart the demonic environment that your eyes are conditioned and trained to accept as a natural environment. And there's no sun that would remain over Alvarado Gardens all day long when it's rising in Las Vegas, Nevada at Courtyard by Marriott, which is what I documented. The entity is maintaining a specific environment, and I'm comparing it to what I captured yesterday, let alone what I'm capturing at the Courtyard by Marriott in Sherman Oaks. You have in 2.5 hours the light source that's over the top of my head at 10:33 in the morning. That is not the case. That's impossible to be the natural environment. That's the specific environment where Courtyard by Marriott will compensate me, and I will prosecute civilly and criminally for their engagement in what is a conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen while group stalking with the state of Nevada, group stalking with the state of California, with corrupt law enforcement agencies who are the first phase of kidnapping when they are keeping you under surveillance, having no reasonable suspicion, no probable cause, while they are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. That is then continued by the kidnapping, that is the changing of hands from corrupt police departments who are engaging in criminal surveillance in the state of California and Nevada to the corrupt and demon-possessed sheriff's departments. In Las Vegas, the police department and the sheriff's department are one. The demon-possessed Las Vegas police department is a combined department based on my research, and the demon-possessed and corrupt leader, Kevin McMahal, is to be removed based on his engagement and the state's engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. An independent basis for federal prison where the entity is exercising fictitious authority that is kidnapping and threatening to kidnap by demons who are a part of corrupt law enforcement agencies exercising fictitious authority that they do not have. It's not merely a traffic stop. It's a threat, and reasonably construed as a threat, to kidnap, where you don't have reasonable suspicion under the law as a group stalker engaging in criminal surveillance, a secret system in the United States, as I'm showing in the state of California and in the state of Nevada. That's a threat to engage in kidnapping based upon what you're researching. Oh, you found a warrant. You don't even have authority under the law to engage in the stop. The entities abusing the authority, the positions that they have, while they're terrorist organizations masquerading as law enforcement agencies who are engaging in Satan's system of surveillance in the U.S. It is unconstitutional and it is inhumane. The entity engages in kidnapping, exercising fictitious authority with the demons who are the people of the state who provide a wealth of documentation in this video as well. This criminal system is occurring on the watch of Kevin McMahal, who is a demon. Not only a corrupt leader, he's a demon and he's a group stalker. He serves Satan. This criminal conduct, which is satanic in nature, is occurring while he is in position, which he is fully aware of. This is speaking to prosecution and disbanding of such corrupt terrorist organizations who are engaging in state surveillance in the state of Nevada, engaging in the exercise of fictitious authority under the law where the federal government is not aware of the fact that they are practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. And it is shown through the evidence that you'll see here, the maintenance of that which is not possibly the sun amongst what is demonic pacing, which is terrorism by the people of the state, also by the state that's utilizing helicopters relevant to not only the stalking, the terrorism, the harassment as an entity, and also the psychological torture, which you see through the directed light, the maintenance of the fake sun, and the stalking in helicopter. Remember, the criminal stalking by the entity, which is demonic, is recognized in the specific environment. The directed light and the amplified audible activity, again, captured in this video, is all of that which creates the specific environment. This is the specific environment where the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, headed by the demon-possessed and corrupt leader, Kevin McMahal, is being documented as a criminal, as a domestic terrorist, and that entire department will be relieved from their duties. You're talking about permanent removal from law enforcement. They are currently engaging in domestic terrorism in the state of Nevada, in the United States. They are literally removed from, disqualified, and they present a public safety concern. The demon-possessed are the closeted sex offenders, the closeted psychopaths, and the closeted stalkers who serve Satan. All of this is a public safety concern while the entity is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. And you have the lawlessness of the psychopaths who are group stalkers, having access to weapons, having access to authority that they do not actually have under the law, while they are of a specific condition and practicing a secret surveillance system that is shared by virtue of the impossible possible occurrence that the sun is seen outside of my hotel room in Arcadia, California. At the same time, this is 7:49 in the morning as I captured August 4th, 2024. And today is August 6th, 2024. Just want to confirm the date. And I'm capturing this video as you can see, 7:49 at the same exact time. I'm in two different states. This is not, the sun is not one that's going to maintain this perfect alignment. This is evidence suggesting the impossible, that the sun is maintaining central and ubiquitous presence over all of us everywhere, no matter where you're at, for the duration of the day. Because that's the evidence that I've captured, while the entity kept a fake sun over my hotel room for the duration of the day, which is the evidence that's already on the record. And the entity is engaging in this on an ongoing basis. If you'll recall, on August 4th, the entity does not only have the fake sun here at 7:47 as I capture criminal summoning, as I capture the engineered light, the same engineered light that you'll see in this video on the bottom when I'm in an entirely different state. And there's no possible way that this location that you see here is the location.
You know, this is third-party group stalking and a sex offender that's monitoring inside of a private space.
This is not the position that you see this light source here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The two are not occurring at the same time. That's not the sun. But you do have, however, the impossible. With this impossibility, you see the perfect alignment with my person. All right. And what you also see, not only is this not the sun, it's a scientific impossibility. The light activity that you see inside of my hotel room in the video at the top, which we will review. Also, the light activity that you see exhibited by their condition is known by their demonic behavioral patterns. First of all, it's not ordinary traffic and it's not walking. It's not driving. It's demons who are pacing. Remember, pacing is not engaged in by a normal person that is not demon possessed, that is not engaging in secret conduct such as group stalking an American citizen. A demon is pacing. That's what demons are doing. So you're recognizing the condition of all those who surround, and they are maliciously engaging in a criminal system and providing the ability to engage in that state's criminal pattern of conduct at a facilitating venue such as Fairfield Inn by Marriott in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, Nevada. Every person that you see and that is documented by virtue of payment, by virtue of presence on the surveillance cameras, by virtue of access to rooms using key cards, by virtue of the produced information that Courtyard by Marriott as a defendant will provide, and that is the evidence of every employee who is going to federal prison on the job last night and tonight and today. The African American woman at the front desk, the African American woman that was group stalking with Chance last night, and the rest of the personnel, they were all engaged in state surveillance. Domestic terrorists will be placed in federal prison where they are providing an intolerable level of facilitation in the conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen, which is the only reason why the state engages in federal group stalking and monitoring. The only reason. That terrorism, just like any other foreign terrorist, such as Osama bin Laden, who also conspires to murder people. They also maintain the same criminal purpose, domestic terrorism, and as the Constitution and as the oaths that these demons, a part of these corrupt departments, take, recognizing and making sure that you anticipate, be very sure, because they're aware of the oath that they took. And this is the enforcement of an American citizen's rights against any enemy, whether they be foreign or domestic. The domestic enemy is the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, headed by the demon-possessed and corrupt Kevin McMahal. He will be removed from his position, and I came to the state of Nevada to show you what is the unmistakable pattern of conduct that California is engaging in and what the state of Nevada is also practicing. This has implications for the rest of the country. This is what demons are that fill the state of California are practicing as you see me cross state lines, and the specific environment does as well. It's not the natural environment, and there is no sun outside of the hotel room of 130 in Arcadia or anywhere in Arcadia. This light source is exclusive. There's only one sun. So we've been told. There's only one sun. It is impossible that there is a sun outside of my hotel room of room 130, and I'm showing you at the same time what is the impossible. Capturing the impossible is the direct evidence to you, who you are observing, what the Lord Jesus Christ is revealing to you. First of all, Satan is real. The enemy of your soul is real. And secondly, that the Lord Jesus, he is the ruler, the creator of all, and he is coming back. He will be coming back in judgment. For right now, for the time being, and you do not have forever. Before he comes back, you need to get into a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. You are running out of time. And this is something to inspire hope. This is not to instill fear. There is a healthy fear and reverence for the Lord God. He is on the throne. He is very much alive, and he is aware of what's going on here on earth. And this has nothing to do with what is lawful conduct by the demon possessed, abusing positions that they have in the United States while they are targeting those who belong to the Lord Jesus Christ. This is a system of persecution. They are kidnapping. They are defaming, and they are murdering American citizens. That's what federal group stalking and monitoring serves. Stalking with engineered light, stalking under a fake sun. This is malice, where you are ignorant about the environment, where strangers are indeed stalking an American citizen. It is not the figment of the imagination of the targeted individual. Federal group stalking and monitoring, which is state organized stalking, contract stalking, gang stalking, however you want to refer to it. I have referred to it in the most accurate way that you can address both the federal jurisdiction and the fact that it is the government and entity that's engaged in group stalking. It's federal group stalking and monitoring. Only demonic spirits are monitoring. So you are looking at people who are demon possessed while they are sharing an identical pattern, behavioral pattern, even as I go across state lines. This is demon possession exposed. Another aspect, which is not reasonably questioned based on the federal prosecution of the state of Nevada and the federal prosecution of the state of California. Demon possession is very real. You're looking at it being exemplified through the defendant that is the state of California and the defendant that is the state of Nevada. This is demon possession at work, working to monitor an American citizen. You see it through the engineered environment. It's not just the fake sun, though, but the engineered light that coexists with the demons who are pacing in relevant position, and also in the sky space where California and Nevada, they engage in terrorism and psychological torture by stalking using helicopters. All of this is captured in video. So I want to recall what I captured this morning, moments ago at 7:49, which is the same thing that you're looking at above. This is in Arcadia, California. And this is at 225 Colorado Place in Arcadia, California, the Motel 6 in Southern California. This is not shared. This is not possibly the sun that's in perfect alignment with me across state lines at 7:49 in the morning, the same exact time, 2 different states, perfect alignment and engineered light, stalking with helicopter. This is state action. This is the entity engaging in the P.O.C. in the state of Nevada. Oh, 1 second.
In Arcadia, California, in front of the hotel where I'm opening my front door, and I showed you yesterday on August 5th, 2024 in the state of California, where I'm opening my front door, and you can see on the first floor of room 130 the light source. This is not the sun that's in perfect alignment with me in the state of Nevada. This is the courtyard by Marriott, and this is called Crossing a Path.
Pay attention, because that cloud path that you see in the sky, that's the entity stalking by way of an airplane. Doing so silently, which is what creates the cloud path. The entity is also stalking, flying over the top of my head in a small white plane. They did that twice while I was capturing video. The entity is also stalking by helicopter, which you will see in this video as well. Pay attention to the engineer light. This is recognizing the demons. Demons are pacing, and it is combined with engineered light. Sunlight is not such that, first of all, this is not a product of the sun, because this light source is not that which was outside of my hotel room in Arcadia. That's the first line of analysis. Secondly, while they are driving, present that is, underneath a fake sun, the recognition of a demon and a stalker, they are engaging, and you're recognizing a demon because their behavior in that demonic environment. You are creating impossible light activity while the entity is also documenting. This is the act of hostile demons who are also revealing their mental illness. No other normal person, sane person that is not born of, of the condition of demonic obsession would on camera in the face of the federal prosecutor and federal investigators provide evidence serving for their prosecution for domestic terrorism in the US. Only a demon would do that, a mentally ill one that is deranged and highly obsessed, and that is acting on behalf as an agent of the state that's engaging in federal group stalking monitoring. The mental illness of the people of the state is born while they engage in the P.O.C., while they are captured on video, which the federal judge is going to plainly look at, and it will be a surefire prosecution. There's no question here about what the entity is doing. Only the mentally ill engage in that. Normal people, they recognize what's going on, and normal people seek to protect their own interests. You're facing deportation. You've been granted naturalization or the right to be in this country. You rely on the state aid, the federal aid that you get. You rely on your citizenship in this country. Upon engaging in federal group stalking monitoring, which I'm capturing the entity doing on a daily basis, not only are they going to federal prison based on the facts and circumstances, you will no longer be qualified based on the criminal record that you will have. You will not receive any state aid. You will not receive any federal aid. You're not even remaining in this country. You're going to be deported based upon the basis of revocation of any naturalization or citizenship granted to you upon engagement in the un-American criminal act of terrorism, federal group stalking and monitoring with the state of California. Only the mentally ill engage in conduct to their demise to that degree, not knowing that the entity is being documented. And they're engaged in Title 18 conduct. They know very much that they're being documented. This is why I met with such resistance regarding the use of internet, regarding the use of my communication device, the entity that engages in more harassment and terrorism. The threat rises, such as engaging in an unlawful traffic stop while I'm documenting the pattern of conduct. The entity is always engaging in the pattern within the pattern, and this is occurring in the state of Nevada. This is an unmistakable pattern of conduct that is occurring in this nation, which is shown the pattern amongst two states, the state of California and the state of Nevada. This is what's occurring, which you know is underway where you are, because it's not the sun that's over you, as I'm showing you at the same time between two states. And you're looking at not only is the light source, and not only is this not sunlight that you're going to see, a demon. It's recognizing the condition, it's recognizing the criminal engagement, the maintenance of a specific environment. In the specific environment, everyone is stalking. In the specific environment, you do not have any constitutional protections. You're not exercising any right of privacy. There is no expression of First Amendment rights. You are stripped bare, and you are operating outside of the bounds of the Constitution, and you will be prosecuted as the malicious terrorist in the United States that you are. You don't have any shelter anymore, and the government that's going to be prosecuted surely has no basis to protect you. It cannot protect itself. So this is what the entity is doing on an ongoing basis. In this highly unintelligent bravery, I call it foolishness, it's not bravery. This unintelligent audacity that I'm capturing on video again, I'm between state lines, no intelligent person, and for the entity to be foolish enough to do it is not the suggestion of innocence. You're talking about the mentally ill, those that don't even need to know the definition of reasonable suspicion when they're conducting traffic stops that they don't even have the legal authority to engage in the first place, let alone the ability to define or recognize the basis upon which they're exercising fictitious authority and pulling over the targeted individual under the fake sun and in engineered light while stalking by helicopter in concert with the demon-possessed people of the state. This is the entity that was group stalking with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. The same exact entity, the same exact demon possession underway, the same exact criminal conduct, which is directly incriminating leaders such as Kevin McMahal, who will be removed from his position. Okay, and that's why I'm here to expose him and the entire department and everyone that participated in that criminal act to threaten my liberty. The entity engages in an exercise of fictitious authority on the basis of some superficial information, such as a paper plate on my vehicle. Let me be clear, that's a trap for them. They're going to federal prison. You don't have lawful authority to engage in any traffic stop. Not even just against me, not even against the demon-possessed people of the state. This is corrupt government conduct by these corrupt law enforcement agencies, but you certainly are providing you are walking into a trap that's provided in order to prosecute and expose the public corruption in the state of Nevada and removal from corrupt leaders and demon-possessed leaders. That's notable, and it's relevant, and it needs to be known. Kevin McMahon is demon-possessed. He's corrupt, and this criminal conduct is occurring on his watch because there is I want to say symbiosis, but there is a mutuality. There is a familiarity. There is a comfort that the demon-possessed have under his leadership, capable of engaging in this criminal system while he is not ignorant of it. You're not ignorant about what the entity is doing amongst the corrupt police departments who are group stalking in the state of California or on the state of Nevada. And the state of Nevada is engaging in the exact same criminal system that the state of California is fully established as engaging in beyond a reasonable doubt. Literally, the state of California, multiple law enforcement agencies, because it's not just the police departments, they are waiting to be raided by the federal government. Coming across lines and documenting the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring in Nevada, I am showing you what is an unmistakable pattern of conduct. There is no mistake with regard to what has already been established as underway in California amongst a population and a corrupt government, which is public corruption, to a degree that the federal government, that the world has never been aware. Well, there are many in the world that are aware of what's going on. This is exposing it to a degree that no one can deny it. This is what the Lord is revealing at this time, and it cannot be reasonably ignored or denied or disregarded. That's what's going on. This has been underway for a very long time, sacrificing American citizens for a very long time, doing so in concert with the demon-possessed. This is no ordinary criminal conduct. The demon-possessed, those who serve Satan, are engaging in this criminal system. This is the work of Satan. It's wicked, and that manifests in very high-level corruption and all manner of filthiness that you will see the government engaging in, having its hands in. Federal group stalking and monitoring is serious enough, but I want to be clear, when you see this, the departments are filthy. They are corrupt through and through. They are engaging in secret criminal conduct that they do not want, let alone the feds or the rest of the world, to know. And that's what the entity is exposing while I'm capturing this video documentation. All of that is known by virtue of capturing this criminal act of federal group stalking and monitoring through recognizing the specific environment and making a juxtaposition with the specific environment in the state of California amongst everyone knows and everyone will recognize California is a group stalker, period. So you're looking at who's a group stalker as well? The state of Nevada. And the corrupt law enforcement agencies, the state police, they're engaged in group stalking, as I documented. The CHP in the state of Nevada, they're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, as I documented, and so are the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. The heads of these departments will be removed. You're talking about what is necessary with regard to permeating this massive system, this massive explosion. There are literally an infestation of cockroaches, and as I go in, I am the bait, and they come out, they show themselves. And that's what I am capturing as I come to the state of Nevada, and Satan's servants come out, they engage in criminal conduct, they are surrounded by a body of evidence, and it is unmistakable what they are doing and the malice with which they do it. And they're doing it with the people of the state who are of the same condition. It is public corruption. And there is a federal response. Okay. And it includes not only federal prosecution, not only of the government actors, but also the people of the state. And you're talking about also the removal of such corrupt government actors. The mayor is not ignorant about what the chief of police is engaging in. They're not ignorant about what the population, the people of the state, are engaging in. It is a pattern of conduct shared by the state. So you are capable and empowered and having the information at your disposal. I'm referencing the federal government right now to make very important, crucial moves with regard to removing the cores, the roots of this public corruption, the ways in which it's able to fester. Okay, you have an infestation of cockroaches in the spirit, and they are the cause of public corruption, criminal conduct in the United States, in the states of California and Nevada. So I want you to see this. This is capturing the impossible when I'm in a different state. And this is also speaking to the evidence as to why knowing your name or having some personal relationship with the target individual is legally irrelevant.
And that's Engineer Light. License plate 534ZPP is group stalking, and so is Fairfield by Marriott. You'll see the still images that I captured. The people of the state using the blue truck as a method of light activity. They have their hazards on. The third parties, the Latino, the dual males, the dual couple of males in the white truck. First of all, they were group stalking.
And this is what I'm referencing. They were monitoring in perfect alignment with my room. This blue truck is a means of light activity, keeping it in perfect alignment with my hotel room. And it's demonic with the flashing of lights. They're monitoring me inside of my hotel room. The demons are obsessed, and they're obsessively monitoring. A light activity in the engineer light in the specific environment. It's a demonic act. Using this tractor as a means of audible activity and crossing path, while the fake sun is in perfect alignment. This is what I'm capturing while I'm inside of the hotel room, speaking to the presence of the light source, which is not, again, as you see above, not in Arcadia, California, such that it's creating reflection on the vehicle parked in Las Vegas, Nevada at Courtyard by Marriott. In addition, this is the group conduct that I captured. This is what I'm referencing. And as they are again, with simultaneity to my capturing their presence, their sexually violent pattern of conduct, monitoring a woman in a private space, engaging in demonic behavior in doing so, as I start capturing pictures, literally the demons immediately start fleeing the scene. They're monitoring as they begin fleeing the scene, okay? They immediately get in the vehicle. I'm capturing what is monitoring while they are en route. And they're not leaving my perfect alignment position and perfect alignment with me unmanned. The people of the state remain. Just these demons who knew that their pictures were being taken, not because they could see me, but because demons know what you are doing, including when you're physically alone, including when your genitalia is exposed, including when you're engaged in any private or personal activity, including when you're in operation of a communication device. This is the Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, criminal conduct, federal stalking that the state of Nevada and the state of California will be prosecuted for. And it is occurring in a specific environment. Pay attention to the impossible light activity that is going to coexist with their fleeing. I put that in air quotes because they're still monitoring while they are fleeing the scene, knowledgeable of the fact that they are being captured in still images. These are males who are keeping a woman under surveillance, stalking a woman in a hotel room. That's a sex offense. And this is impossible light activity that's appearing on the side of the truck. The light source is on the passenger side. This is not light that's naturally occurring. This is speaking to the pattern of conduct that's underway, and doing so while they know that they're being captured. The entity is doing so. Again, this is what I'm referencing in this video right before I stepped out to capture this video. So I'm going to proceed with that video.
First of all, they were group stalking. They were pacing in front of my room where the entity was concentrating activity. Those are demons that were pacing, monitoring me in perfect alignment with my location inside of my room that's on the second floor inside of this venue, a third-party facilitating venue where the sun is not possibly in perfect alignment with the hotel room in Arcadia, California, such that the sun is in perfect alignment with me in two different states at the same time, creating any sort of light activity that's going to create light coming toward my way on the black asphalt while you're driving a vehicle. That's not sunlight, and this is also not the sun. So it is currently, again, 7:51 a.m. This is Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the entity is maintaining a light source in alignment to me. This is where, again, the prosecution of the state of Nevada includes the affirmative act, the intent to obstruct justice, to engage in a criminal act of intimidation, harassment, and terrorism by a demon-possessed and corrupt agency. That is the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. The head of that corrupt department is Kevin McMahal, and I want to be clear, his condition and his criminal engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring is known by that criminal act documented via podcast and on video, where the entity is engaged in criminal surveillance and federal stalking and then is exercising fictitious authority under the doctrine of reasonable suspicion, which does not exist when the entity is a criminal engaging in state surveillance. The entity is engaged in group stalking. The evidence of the specific environment is revealing that.
And so this is what I'm referencing with regard to the fake sun. I want you to see the engineer light, and I'm going to remind you about the engineer light that's occurring inside of my hotel room while the light source is hovering so low that it's in alignment with my hotel room 130 in Arcadia, California. This light source that you see is a hovering, hunkered down light source. That's not the sun. Nor is that sunlight that fills my hotel room in Arcadia, California, where there is no perfect alignment. You cannot see what you see outside of my hotel room in Arcadia over and in perfect alignment with my location in Las Vegas. This is capturing what none of us are paying attention to, which you will recognize now from here forth, but this is not the sun. Okay, the sun, there's only one, and the sun that is rising in alignment to me in Arcadia is not at the same time already present in Las Vegas and maintaining perfect alignment with my presence no matter where I'm at, because this is also documented in my living room window in Los Angeles, California, the sunrise. Remember what I'm capturing, same time of year analysis, same time. In Ontario, California, there is a sunrise documented every day while I was sleeping outside and the demon-possessed and corrupt government were group stalking me. in helicopters, amongst engineered light. This federal group stalking and monitoring is spiritual at its core. It's the system that Satan is employing, and it's not based on your socioeconomic status. The demon-possessed, the corrupt government leaders were stalking me while I was sleeping outside. That's where the sunrise was, wherever it was that I was sleeping. This is the evidence of what you're witnessing, as opposed to the natural environment that does not consist of and does not possibly consist of the sunrise outside of my hotel room in Arcadia. And at the same time, what you're looking at remaining stationary in Arcadia as I document on an ongoing basis. And also at the same time, it's over Las Vegas, it's over the state of Nevada. That's the purpose of capturing the maintenance of a fake sun for the duration of the day. It's evidence of non-movement. And then when I move, including state lines, all of a sudden you see that which is impossible in Nevada. Not only in Nevada, but it's in perfect alignment with me as well. That's capturing the evidence of the demonic. The demon-possessed are group stalking, and it includes the entire department, not just the fools who arrived on podcast and video, and I documented them, and it will be the federal prosecution of them and the department, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Kevin McMahal shall be removed. This is how you're going to treat the heads of the sheriff's departments, the police departments, the fire departments, the ambulance, community ambulance. They serve a community of sex offending demons. Okay, closeted sex offenders is what I'm getting to. These are those of a specific condition arriving, and it should not be a public, a community affair when I pull my panties down. But this is the reality of what the sex offenders, who are the people of the state and the state of Nevada, are engaging in. And it's exactly what the people of the state of California and the state of California are engaging in. The demon possessed are obsessed with my genitalia. They're obsessed with my personal and private activities inside of a private space, and you will be prosecuted as the sex offender that you are, based on the criminal conduct that you engage in. I don't make you engage in sexually violent, predatory conduct. You do that. You do that as a pattern of conduct. You're going to be prosecuted as the exceedingly violent sex offender that you are, and that's exactly what the state of Nevada is. All right.
Use of commercial airline planes, and every single airline is engaged in federal stalking and criminal surveillance. Using commercial airline planes relevant for what is criminal surveillance and psychological torture, stalking from place to place, using planes in order to keep one under surveillance in violation of your constitutional and human rights, doing so in concert with the demon-possessed group stalking people of the state.
Those are demons who are pacing on the side of the ground right there in the shade, and I want you to see this. This is third-party group stalker Uber. Engaging, let me be clear, Uber is a terrorist. Uber's corporate headquarters is located in California. They're under a fake sun in San Francisco, if I recollect correctly. Not only that, they're third-party group stalkers. They're terrorists because Uber, who acts through the people of the state, by the way, are engaging in statewide terrorism. Everywhere that Uber is located, they're engaged, just like any bank, just like any Courtyard by Marriott, they're terrorists. The facilitating venue, they are engaging in state surveillance, which is what I'm showing you while I go from state to state, and Uber is engaging in group stalking in the state of Nevada. As you will see through under the light source, that's a recognition of a demon who was pacing, replete with engineered light. And I will prosecute Uber for engaging in this documented act of terrorism. And it's also acting with impunity and malice. And it is worthy of federal prison. The entity also is group stalking with the police. So literally the driver of this vehicle is worthy of federal prison. But I want you to see what the people of the state engage in, the recognition of the demon possessed, the establishment of the specific environment. And that's what I'm capturing. This is crossing a path.
At the same time at Arcadia Motel 6, and while this demon is crossing paths with engineer light on the ground, 152ZJX is acting with impunity. Well, that's the basis of federal prison right there. This is what the population is doing on an ongoing basis. And I want you to see the light source through the windshield and on the ceiling. They're going to federal prison.
Okay, that's demonic, and I want you to look at that again. That's called crossing a path. That serves a criminal purpose. This light activity on the ceiling, that's an impossible occurrence. First of all, look at where they're driving. You can pay attention to the scene. This is what you're going to learn to deconstruct. First of all, this is a covered structure. Second of all, remember the sun that's in Arcadia is not creating any sunlight over. All of this is engineered light that covers the surface. This is the discussion that I was having on video when the demons of the Las Vegas Police Department, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, engaged in a criminal act that's documented on video, which the world is going to observe and the feds are going to dissect. This system is going to be studied and very well understood for purposes of prosecuting across this nation. Nonetheless, breaking down the crime scene, this is engineered light that covers the venue based on the establishment. This is a light source, not the sun. You are looking at the placement of underneath the structure where it should be shade. The shade is pushed to the side. It's behind the actual structure. You can see the shadow of the palm tree that's standing straight up and it's flat down on the ground underneath this structure. This is all manner of impossible light activity. The entity is driving under a structure and is still being touched with light. This is not sunlight that's coming down from the sky, such as the sun. This is light that's being shot horizontally underneath the structure, and nor does sunlight create the affect where you're driving underneath sunlight, because we're not driving through sunlight that's shooting horizontally as though we're driving through tunnels of ricocheting light. While you are in engineer light, the engineer light appears on underneath the structure where this should be shaded. None of this is also occurring in an environment where the sun would even be present. Pay attention to the video above. At the same time, in the state of California, in Arcadia, California, this is capturing the crime scene. There is shade underneath the structure. This is scientifically impossible. And then you have the light that's appearing underneath that structure, which is also scientifically impossible. This is recognizing the criminal conduct of a demon who is pacing. Pay attention to the black vehicle behind. These are demons who are pacing together, and these are strangers in the natural. They don't necessarily know each other, but these are demons who are acting in sync. This is demonic activity that is accomplishing criminal monitoring, and they are doing so in concert with the demons who are the corrupt law enforcement agencies practicing the system of surveillance in the state of Nevada. And this is in concert with the population, the people of the state. This is everything that you're gaining when you're dissecting the crime scene here. Never is sunlight ricocheting off of the top of your car onto structures like you see here.
Through the windshield and on the ceiling. They're going to federal prison.
That's a documented act of terrorism, and it is worthy of federal prison. This is what the population is doing ceaselessly. Thousands and thousands of people that are driving all around you are engaging in terrorism via directed light. They're monitoring, and they're keeping an American citizen under surveillance in doing so. The engineer light is an integral aspect of federal group stalking and monitoring while they're monitoring on communication devices on the venue of the internet, doing so with everyone else around, including in the sky space. And the placement of this engineer light, this conduct with this engineer light, is recognizing a demon, recognizing the criminal system. So I want you to see this engineer light again that's appearing. Remember, the sun is in Arcadia. And even with this light source here, it is not the explanation for engineer light that's ricocheting. Sunlight doesn't ricochet off of the top of your car when you're driving underneath structures where your vehicle should be shaded, and then you have engineer light appearing underneath that structure. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. That's a recognition of a demon-possessed person who is stalking, maliciously doing so using a commercial actor such as Uber. A demon that's stalking wants to appear as though they're doing something that they have no right to do. That's called crossing a path, while you are using a logo to engage in light activity, relevant positioning, and audible activity, which coexist, but not only my narration, but also everything that's happening in the environment. All the elements of monitoring are underway. And this is where the entity is group stalking by corrupt law enforcement agencies such as Nevada State Police, Nevada CHP are group stalking, and the Nevada Las Vegas Police Department are group stalking. And they also do so, you're seeing the hallmark here, engineered light.
X is acting with impunity. Well, that's the basis of federal prison right there. This is what the population is doing on an ongoing basis. And I want you to see the light source through the windshield and on the ceiling. They're going to federal prison. That's Uber also. That's impossible light activity on the ground. This is what the entity is doing. That's what you saw.
Again, I want you to see that light activity. Yeah, that's impossible light activity, okay? This is criminal activity that is occurring in your face. This is what the population are doing. There's no provision, there's no protection of First Amendment rights. And what this third party is doing, all of the population is doing. There is no exception. And there is no one that has provided any constitutional protection. You can state all that you want. I was inside of the Holiday Inn. I don't know the targeted individual. I don't know anything about this group stalking. I came here visiting from Nebraska. I'm just going to see the Cirque du Soleil show today, and then we're driving back to Nebraska. I'm going to prosecute you for federal group stalking and monitoring. This is the malicious system that the state is engaging in, and there is no exception. The population engages in terrorism via directed light, just like you see across the underneath the structure and on the ground.
On an ongoing basis.
Across underneath the structure and on the ground while they are openly stalking you in plain sight. That's engineered light on the ground. Both above and on the ground, the entity is group stalking. And then the demons with a straight face openly engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is terrorism. This is the conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen in concert and on behalf of the government. And in the United States of America, the people of the state itself are openly engaging in it, masquerading as a free society. Remember, the demonic methods are those that you are not supposed to be aware of or notice. And even if you were to report it, there's not supposed to be any blowing of the whistle to the federal government to alert anyone to report it to anyone, because you are supposed to be discarded, silenced, defamed, kidnapped somewhere in a facility where there's still group stalking you, and if not murdered, homicide by entity. And it happens on a daily basis. And it appears as what are unsolved murder cases, that the entity is controlling the narrative. They're the ones that remain. Speaking of unsolved murder cases, I want you to be clear. This light source that you see through the window of this vehicle right here, that right there is not coexisting with what's outside of my hotel room in Arcadia, California. So
as are all of them.
I want you to see this. The entity
Okay,
is
this is P.O.C. This
maintaining
is
the light
and
source, and this light activity is inside of my
I'm going to
hotel
document
room.
right now. They open their door at the moment that I press record. That's a demon, and that's
So this
apartment
is
number.
not seen through the window of this vehicle in Las Vegas, Nevada at the same time. Okay, it's not hovering while I'm in Arcadia and I'm standing outside of my room, my hotel room of room 130, and this is causing any reflection on this vehicle with this license plate that is openly group stalking L52ZJ1, I believe. I stated their license plate, and they are openly engaging in group stalking. I want to document them again in this video. Yeah, 152ZJX. And this is also third-party group stalker Uber. This is Engineer Light. And this is the light source that's over me in Arcadia at the same time. This light source that you see in Arcadia is not creating any sort of reflection on this vehicle in Las Vegas, Nevada at the same time or any time of day. What I captured in Arcadia remained over me in Arcadia for the duration of the day. A grand departure from that, which is clearly the P.O.C. in California, you're recognizing nothing other than the P.O.C. in Nevada because you have what is impossible to be the sun in Nevada, number one. And number two, none of this is light activity. This is why you juxtapose the crime scenes and you're seeing what the entity is doing amongst a population who are bearing logos. So that's a prosecution of Uber. Uber is a group stalker whose headquarters is also in California. Uber is not ignorant about what the people of the state are doing in its name. They're making a buck on the backs of American citizens whom they are keeping under surveillance and group stalking. The people of the state are Uber, and Uber is engaging in criminal activity while they are independent contractors affiliated with the third-party group stalker Uber are engaging in state surveillance, in other words, to put it precisely. This is the P.O.C. in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mahal and the demons in the Metro Police Department are engaging in. These are the people of the state who are group stalking and monitoring and engaged in federal stalking while they engage in an a criminal act as though they have reasonable suspicion when they're monitoring you and group stalking you. Sunlight doesn't ricochet.
So what you're seeing this demon doing, this is mental illness made manifest. Nobody would engage in this criminal conduct on a video, absent an ongoing conspiracy, a deliberate conspiracy to murder someone, thinking that you're going to get away with murdering or kidnapping them. Also doing so while you are on camera. This is a demon. This is the mentally ill. Are revealed through their criminal engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is impossible light activity. This is a demon who is obsessively engaged in criminal conduct that it knows is being captured on video. Only this lawlessness, this impunity is captured by the mentally ill who are engaging in very serious federal offenses, the basis of which is federal prison. And they're doing it while the state is, this is engaging in a pattern of conduct. So this is Engineer Light. You saw the structure. This is the Engineer Light in Arcadia,
Monitoring
California.
purposes of the people of the state. This is all impossible light activity. This is my shadow down here, and it's also, and as I open and close the door, this is speaking to the massive light activity.
None of this is the product of sunlight. In the same way that driving underneath the structure and this Engineer Light dragging on the ground, this is Engineer Light, it's not sunlight. It's also occurring under that which is not the sun. As I'm comparing now the two states, the state of California and the state of Nevada, the same time. Perfect alignment with me in two different states, and Engineer Light while the entity is keeping one under surveillance. Not only relevant position, engaging in state surveillance, but also federal stalking on the venue of the internet. Acting with impunity is what Uber and this third party is engaging in on video. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct.
This is entirely demonic and it's impossible. And it's also impossible, not only on its face, it's impossible because the sunrise is supposedly happening every day through the living room window at 1806 North Alvarado. So then you're understanding that's not the sun that was outside of my living room window as I documented. That's where LAPD was stalking. That's how you identify.
And that's what you're comparing to what the LAPD did, is speaking to exactly what you know what Metro PD or Metro Police Department and State Police and the CHP are engaging in. These are the corrupt law enforcement agencies.
Right, here's my shadow that is upright, and this demon that I'm going to document right now, they open their door at the moment that
I want you to see the light activity.
Right, here's my shadow that is upright, and this demon that I'm going to document right now,
All right, that's this pattern of conduct where you see the demon-possessed pacing around. The entity is stalking with Engineer Light, keeping you under surveillance, molesting your person, terrorizing you while group stalking you, and doing so on video is called Exhibit A for the mental examinations that the people of the state and the state will be subject to upon federal prosecution for group stalking and federal stalking.
Off the top of your car and create that light activity. They're all monitoring. Light activity on the ground, demons getting in the vehicle, and that's Uber. Uber is a third party in California, and Uber is a third party in Nevada, and I'm going to sue them. That's P.O.C.
Understand the system in the United States currently where the entity is openly engaging and masquerading as a free society. You're not free to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring. And you have hundreds of people who are going to federal prison while they do so on camera. And they do so with impunity, disrespecting the ongoing federal investigation like you would not do to any federal investigator, like you would not do to any federal prosecutor. This is what the people of the state are doing. And because they want to disrespect the process, you are not going to be met with any less consequences. You will be prosecuted for a criminal obstruction of justice, just like any other criminal. So the entity is engaging in against the one whom they're targeting. It is me, myself, and I'm exposing what the states are engaging in. And you will go to federal prison for your criminal acts of obstruction of justice, and that includes acting with impunity. This demon is pacing, driving forward and backward is demonic pacing. Clearly in your face, going forward and backward is pacing. This is what this demon is doing on camera in the vehicle, and then doing so with the engineer light dragging on the ground. This is openly terrorizing someone, and that's a threat to your life. They're group stalking you because this is a conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen. You openly do that on camera to your own demise. To your own demise, and where you act commercially. What this entity is doing, it's occurring on the watch of a Courtyard by Marriott, providing the facilitating venue where the people of the state are acting in sync with that pattern of conduct. Right? And they're doing so in the specific environment where those that are in this at the facilitating venue are fully engaged in that P.O.C. and with those that come onto the grounds to participate in the P.O.C. It's not the legitimate operation or engagement in any business. There are no constitutional protections where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, which is established beyond a reasonable doubt because even though that's not the standard, establishing the specific environment is established beyond by clear and convincing evidence. And it is clear and very convincing that the sun is not in perfect alignment with my hotel room in Arcadia, California, creating any of that light that you see inside of my hotel room, seen through the windshield in the windows of this vehicle in Las Vegas, Nevada at the same time. That's speaking to the conspiracy amongst the people of the state and the state to practice federal group stalking and monitoring. And that is established. The fact that the state is a stalker and is engaging in criminal surveillance, conspiring to murder and kidnap American citizens while masquerading as having lawful authority, public corruption, in other words, that's established beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the criminal prosecution of the state of Nevada and the state of California and the people of the state. Okay, so this is
Courtyard at Marriott is going to be sued as well because this criminal conduct is occurring on their watch. And this is demonic pacing on this side and on this side. Engineer light and the fake sun, that's not in Arcadia. That's a light source, and that's P.O.C. That's a light source. You can see it through the windshield. It's not in Arcadia. It's right here over me in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, this is P.O.C. I'm going to capture screenshots just so you can see a vivid.
I just want to capture that. This is the video that I captured downstairs at 7:49, and this is where the entity keeps the fake sun. I want you to see the entity stalking by helicopter. This is a criminal act committed by the entity. The corrupt law enforcement agencies are stalking by helicopter. This is a communication of a threat to your life, your well-being. The entity engages in stalking, and that's an identification of a demon having access to a pilot license, having access to a heliport and helicopters. This is what the federal government will address upon the states being exposed for engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's the same for the airports that are facilitating venues using commercial airline planes to engage in federal group stalking, monitoring, stalking, and psychologically torturing American citizens whom they are placing under surveillance and engaging in federal stalking in the specific environment. So this is where the entity is indeed engaging in on video. Again, that's showing the mental illness. There's no ambiguity. There's no vagueness with regard to stalking in the specific environment. It is within the pattern of conduct. Reference the criminal conduct of the Los Angeles Police Department. The entity is, let me capture this light activity as well.
While wanting to appear as though you're an ambulance, engaging in duty, engaging in the commercial services such as Uber, picking someone up, and it's the same pattern of conduct. Amplified audible activity, impossible light. That's P.O.C. Path, license plate. 628N79, and these are the demons who are, again, the mentally ill. The mentally ill make up the force of the Metro Police Department. Okay, they're the same closeted sex offenders. They're the closeted psychopaths secretly stalking you with the people.
Pay attention to the light activity.
Of the state, the same demon possession, not different from a demon driving an Uber vehicle. The demons that don't even know the definition of reasonable suspicion are pulling people over under authority that they don't have while they're group stalking in the state of Nevada. And that's engineer light underneath a covered structure. Under that which isn't even the sun. Wait.
And again, you're looking at the same exact pattern of conduct. It's appearing on the sidewalk, on the asphalt. That's impossible light activity, and it's also occurring under that which is not the sun. The demon possessed are monitoring in plain sight. They are showing their condition while they engage in demonic pacing. You are ignorant about their condition while they are engaging in criminal conduct, masquerading as free citizens. You are not free to engage in the conduct of the secret society, the demon possessed who are monitoring American citizens, doing so as a corrupt entity. This is public corruption that is made manifest, demonic in nature. The evidence of this demonic activity is tangible, and that which everyone can observe. And you will go to federal prison just like any other criminal that's fully operating in the natural. These demons are operating in the spirit. They're demonic in nature, but you can see the evidence of their condition through the demonic environment and the conduct that they're engaging in, and the significance of which you are ignorant about. There's a significance to this engine your light. It's within a pattern of conduct where the state is stalking, the people of the state are stalking, and the people of the state are engaging in a remarkable pattern of conduct, and it includes pacing with engine your light, which is achieving federal stalking conduct on communication devices on the internet, and also group stalking you, molesting your person, terrorizing you as well, harassing you as well as an entity, not as an individual. This is the government that's crossing path. You're not free to engage in surveillance with the state. This is how the state remains all around you everywhere that you're going, hiding amongst the demons who are the people of the state. You're not free to do that either. And you will be prosecuted for it. And the malice with which you act, it's my duty to make sure I articulate and I capture all the forms of malice and the impunity that the people act with, because you will be going to federal prison. And when you're crying in front of the judge on that day, we're going to play back the tape and remember that you were not crying on the day where you were acting as the animal that you actually are. You weren't crying then, and that's what counts. That's what matters. Okay, so the entity is engaging in this criminal system and doing so among
those are demons. They're all monitoring together. But I want to be clear with regard to the closeted psychopath.
I want you to see the entity stalking by helicopter. You see the hallmark, the fake sun, flying even under the fake sun, and there's no blow up. There's no explosion. The entity is acting in sync with this Caucasian male. Remember, the P.O.C. demon possession has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with how much money you make or what vehicle you're driving. This is a demon, and he is acting in sync with the demons. They're communicating a threat together, and the helicopter arrives while a demon in close proximity for purposes of crossing path and terrorism via directed light and showing impunity. The entity is communicating a threat, the highest possible, while engaging in psychological torture together as one, and in doing so while they are mindful of the fact and aware that they are being documented. And that's why he's going to federal prison. And the entity is, you're talking about the state police who are going to be prosecuted and are exposed for engaging in federal group stalking monitoring, the CHP, and Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
Federal group stalking monitoring, state surveillance. All right, and that's a prosecution of the people of the state. And this one's going to federal prison, and flying under that which isn't even the sun. That is the unintelligent pattern of conduct. They're doing so in a readily identifiable.
This is the hallmark in the specific environment where you see the light source and the engineer light. The entity is stalking. This is not free conduct, and it's nothing ambiguous either. It's very specific with regard to the specific environment, very specific and unambiguous what the entity and who is being targeted. And this is what I'm documenting on an ongoing basis, where you see the light source in Arcadia, you see the lights in perfect alignment with me and the engineer light. This is the light source and engineer light in Las Vegas. That's an impossible occurrence. The reason why that crime scene is present is because the entity is indeed stalking in helicopters, which is the substance, the mass substance of my documentation, showing how the states engage in criminal surveillance, terrorism, and psychological torture. In doing so using helicopters, it is the basis for federal prison. And whether this is Channel 2 News or whether it's Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, this third party is going to federal prison.
Viable specific environment. There's no sun that's seen outside of my hotel room in Arcadia, California. And that's walking out, P.O.C., group stalking.
All right, again, this third party, license 283 PYG, that's a Colorado plate. And while they drive off, they're molesting my person. That's terrorism via directed light. This is indeed a demon. This is indeed malicious conduct. These are demons that are acting in sync, while at distance you see a helicopter. That's a demon flying that helicopter targeting me. And this is a demon coming out to their parking lot, packing up their materials and driving off, molesting me in doing so, just like Uber did, just like the third party and the SUV did. They're all group stalking. The entity adds in helicopter activity to add more of a threat to your life and safety. This is the hostility by the demon possessed. This creates the public safety concern. The entity engages in more lawlessness, more criminal conduct as you expose it, the criminal conduct that they engage in. He's going to federal prison for it.
See, the entity is using hell relevant to the stalking in the sky space and also relevant to psychological torture, and that's a demon flying a helicopter. Okay, I want to be clear. The entity is doing so over the Mandalay Bay, where the Mandalay Bay building is the basis for light activity yesterday after 5 p.m.
All right, and so I will remind you about not only the crime scenes, as you can compare them to what I captured in California, which is speaking to federal group stalking and monitoring. The entity is maintaining, as I documented yesterday in the evening, the entity is keeping a fake sun as I am in the same area. This is the light source that's remaining street for street, turn for turn. I'm capturing the pattern of conduct. This is where the entity is engaging in conduct such that the sun is setting, and I'm showing you the same this is the light source through my rear view mirror. The entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct as though the sun is rising, as you see it at 7:47. I'm still in Las Vegas. This is the same neighborhood, and this is the so-called sunset that's remaining in perfect alignment with me. This is the pattern of conduct that I'm documenting for years in the state of California. And the entity is, I will show you the image because I have it, where you're literally looking at it being aimed on Mandalay Bay. While the entity is stalking by plane and helicopter. That's not the lawful operation of any airport. That's the P.O.C., which the federal government can readily identify in the specific environment. So that's what supersedes any legally irrelevant claim as to, oh, well, we had a flight schedule for whatever the people of the state will claim. It's legally irrelevant. This is how public corruption appears, and this is how the entity engages in the pattern of conduct, the hallmarks of stalking in plane and helicopter in the specific environment. This is the light source maintaining perfect alignment with me while I'm capturing my location yesterday in the evening. I want to be clear, it's after 6 o'clock in the evening, and this fake sun is still in the same neighborhood where I'm at Courtyard by Marriott, and the entity is maintaining a light source over me. You can see the same hotels, okay? But I want to show you specifically the Mandalay Bay because this is what I documented, and you're looking at it adjacent to the same Mandalay Bay I'm looking at. That's the absurd conduct of a stalker, demonic in nature. That's the MGM where you're looking at the light source. This is where the entity engaged in criminal summoning yesterday at 6:45. The entity is maintaining a light source as I am traveling street for street and I'm capturing the P.O.C. So I just want you to see that. This evidence in and of itself is speaking to the P.O.C. by the population. All right. This is criminal summoning. This is what the entity did while my panties were down, arriving to just pick up anybody. They can pick up a cat. They can pick up somebody. Oh, my neck. They can pick up a dead body. In the specific environment, it supersedes what the entity will claim as being some sort of legitimate reason for why they're there. That's what public corruption looks like, by the way. It is the P.O.C. And the evidence of the pattern of conduct is what is going to control, not the false narrative created by the state. These are violent sex offenders who are going to be the two drivers, the two demon-possessed EMT drivers that I documented last night. They're going to federal prison. Community Ambulance is a group stalker. They were engaged in criminal summoning under the fake sun at the MGM. And this is captured again in the evening, 6:36 p.m. So I want to capture the light source. I just want you to see this is all speaking to the P.O.C. because the sunrise that I captured at 7:49 a.m. and this is the fake sun in the same town. That's not the natural environment. And while the entity does this rebuts everything with regard to what California would like to state, that that's the natural environment that they're also running. The sun is not rising and setting in the same neighborhood, the same town. The sun is a constant movement, constantly moving object, constantly moving. This is evidence of the exact opposite where I'm capturing it in the evening in the same, here you go, Harry Reid, the federal government. This is a corrupt entity. Harry Reid is a facilitating venue, and every airline is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and doing so in sync with the corrupt law enforcement agencies using commercial airline planes to engage in group stalking. This is the light source through my rear windshield at 6:12 p.m. while I am looking at Mandalay Bay. This is the building right here. And the entity is touching the streets like with gold as though that is going to be the sun and that is sunlight. This is clearly the circus environment where the demons are group stalking. This scene is not even realistic. Not only because the light source is remaining over me where I'm documenting in the state of California, which is not going to be in Las Vegas, low enough, again, not the sun, it's hovering beneath and beside the buildings. This is not the sun. And then also creating such spectacular light activity, it's covering the streets with engineered light. This is the pattern of conduct, and that is the Mandalay Bay that I'm capturing. That the light source remains in alignment with me, and you can also see it while it is reflecting off of buildings. And it is the form where the engineer light is occurring. And it's an unrealistic form. It is where the entity is engaged in a very specific pattern of conduct on an ongoing basis. As I came to Nevada to show the exact same thing. So I just wanted to capture that. I am... Oh yeah, capturing. Okay, so that is the Mandalay Bay image that I captured yesterday evening, and I wanted to make sure that I showed that. Yeah, here we go right here. This is Mandalay Bay. You can see it right here. This is essentially the same thing that you're looking at. This is at 6:03 in the evening. This is essentially the same thing what you're looking at when we can see Mandalay Bay in this video, and this is at 7:47 in the morning. What iteration of some natural environment includes the same placement of the light source? You can see Mandalay Bay in the distance. The same conduct of, this is non-movement of the alleged sun. This is where you're recognizing stalking in helicopters and planes. This is where you're recognizing stalking by the people on their face. With the engineer light, with the people that say they're demons who are pacing, they're openly engaging in stalking. But I'm pointing out the unnatural environment. The entity is doing so, and Mandalay Bay is in the distance right here. And you're looking at the same scene at 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday. So these are all the things that you pay attention to when you're recognizing the system of federal group stalking and monitoring. So this is Mandalay Bay right here that you can see. That's the same placement. Essentially, this is the fake sun. That is beside the same building. That would be 11 hours from now. We can count together. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a legally trained professional, not a mathematician, but we can all count together. This is requiring a stationary object that wants to be viewed as the sun. It is the evidence of the demonic. You are able to witness and be aware of the presence of Satan through the demonic imitation of an unnatural environment where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, and what is integral to that criminal system of surveillance, which is affecting internet operation and the operation of communication devices that are used to surveil American citizens in violation of existing constitutional and human rights, where you do not actually have privacy under these laws that are created in order to create an illusion in your mind, the farce of privacy in the U.S. and the prosecution for such violations of privacy, where outside of the local, state, and federal laws that are in existence, the surveillance state is already underway. And the an unnatural environment includes the presence of the light source that's adjacent to this building of Mandalay Bay. This is just an ability to recognize a landmark. This is the same. Sorry, let me go back. This is the same position, essentially, 11 hours from. So let's count 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that would be 11 hours from now in order to capture the so-called sun in any position anywhere near Mandalay Bay. That's not the sun. Okay, so this is what I'm capturing. This is what I was speaking to with regard to what the entity is doing concerning corrupt actors such as Kevin McMahal. The federal group stalking and monitoring is occurring on his watch, and the entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and these actors are going to federal prison. There is one more, a Caucasian officer, who is going to federal prison, and this is criminal summoning, while the entity maintained engineered light and a light source all around me, and doing so in concert with the entity that was group stalking. Surrounding and relevant position was the Aria Hotel, the Cosmopolitan. They were all engaged in criminal summoning. This over presence, I have pink toenails and a pink wife beater and some Levi's, okay, with flip-flops. Nothing threatening about my appearance, nothing threatening about the paper license plate either. There is, the entity arrives pursuant to this heavy presence. They arrive with 5 vehicles. You have 6 of them present. This hyper presence is also spiritually significant. These are demons. And by the way, while you are engaged with federal group stalking and monitoring, the presence of weapons, you're going to federal prison. The fictitious exercise of authority, you're going to federal prison. You're also engaged in federal stalking. That's an independent basis for federal prison. The entire department, Metropolitan Police Department, is engaged in federal stalking. These are also demons who are masquerading as law enforcement officers, exercising fictitious authority that you do not have, regardless of the fact that I have a paper plate. This is why it is so unfortunate that the government is corrupt, because you have departed from any lawful authority under the law. I am aware of the fact that you're engaging in criminal surveillance. I understand the ways in which the law works. You don't have any authority under the law, even as you masquerade as a legitimate law enforcement agency for engaging in such fictitious authority, which is a threat to engage in kidnapping. That's a threat to your liberty. You don't have a right to detain. You don't have probable cause. You don't have reasonable. You have none of that. And so while exercising this fictitious authority, understand that it can very easily escalate to a kidnapping. And they are referencing laws that they are abusing, masquerading as having authority under them, while they are then stating, oh, well, the target individual was arrested because they were being, quote, uncooperative and not listening, when you don't even have authority under the law in the first place. not to pull me over or arrest me or the people of the state. This is the unfortunate reality with regard to corrupt law enforcement agencies. But right now, the demons are playing cops and robbers. This is what Satan is doing again amongst the corrupt law enforcement agencies. It's not just Metropolitan Police, which again, this corrupt leader, it's occurring on his watch. He's going to be removed and he is demon possessed. You need to know what his condition is and this criminal system that he is engaging in and the entire department of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. Okay, that's why I'm able to capture as I go across state lines that which is impossible. The fact that the entity would have a light source that's remaining over me while I am traveling to the state of Nevada. This is the absence of the sun in Nevada when I am traveling there. I'm not even there yet. And the entity has a light source rising in Nevada. I'm capturing a sunrise over me in California. The two are not occurring at the same time. It's evidence of stationary presence of the light source in California. And while I'm en route, it's necessarily moving to maintain perfect alignment with me as I am en route to the state of California. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. Everybody that participated in this criminal act is going to federal prison, and Kevin McMahal is to be removed from his position. And there are many government leaders that will be removed as federal group stalking and monitoring is exposed in this nation. All right, it is currently it's currently 9:12 a.m. and this is P.O.C.